Hi, Daniel. I'm really pleased you could join me today. Can we start off by telling the audience a little bit about yourself and briefly about the Zambia Road Safety Trust?
Thank you very much, Howard, for this interview. As you said, my name is Daniel Mwamba. I'm the chairman and one of the founders for the Zambia Road Safety Trust. My brief background is that I've spent about 20 years in the United Kingdom, in the UK, in Leicester. That's where I lived with my family. And when I came to Zambia, back to Zambia some few years ago, I found out the poor road safety profile of this country. And then we, with my colleagues, we decided to form the Zambia Road Safety Trust. The Zambia Road Safety Trust is now the leading NGO on road safety in the country. And we've got nearly 1,000 volunteers across the country. Our focus has been mostly on vulnerable road users. As you know, in low-income countries like ourselves, the most people that are affected by road crashes are vulnerable road users, pedestrians and cyclists. So without duplicating government efforts in other areas, we decided to focus our attention mostly on vulnerable road users.
So the Zambia Road Safety Trust is a partner on the UK Foreign Commonwealth Development Office High Volume Transport Programme. I'd like you to talk about the case study that you're undertaking as part of the Inclusive Climate Resilient Transport in Africa project.
Yes, the case study basically is to evaluate the experiences and understand the experiences of the most vulnerable road users that use this junction that we selected. The junction is where we identified that most of the people walking and cycling experience a number of road traffic accidents. And it's also a junction where the school children uses coming from other areas to go into their schools. So we decided to use this junction as a case study for this, for these similar reasons. And according to the statistics by the Zambia police, they account to about 60% of fatalities annually,
right?
Coming from people that are walking and cycling.
So what about disadvantaged groups in particular? What challenges do they face?
So far from this case study interviews that we encountered with vulnerable road user disadvantaged groups, these are mostly women and disabled people, and also younger people. The biggest challenges that they encountered is drivers not observing the zebra crossing. But not only that, but also lack of zebra crossings on this particular junction. So, and this junction is quite very busy. So, which means that, people are dashing, running, and and collision with motor traffic, and so on and so forth. So, zebra crossing is one of the biggest challenges. Then the other thing is like lack of footpaths which are paved. So, which means that people try to walk on the main road because they can't walk, especially in the rain season. They don't want to walk in the mud.
What are you planning to do here as part of the project?
Yes, as part of the project, after speaking to the views and understanding the views of the disadvantaged groups, we are communicating these voices to the planners. This is not something that has happened in this country. It never happened. So this is an opportunity for the disadvantaged groups to have their voices, in terms of the future planning of our road networks in the country. So that's one thing that we're doing. In the long run is to communicate this with the planners. But in the short run, we also have an activity that involves putting up a 3D zebra crossing.
Okay, right.
So yes, crossing actually will raise awareness of the needs of the motorists to observe the zebra crossing. So we are as part of this, we are painting the zebra crossing and also try to gauge how the motorists react.
In terms of your on-street activities, describe what you've done already and what you're planning to do.
Yes. So what we've done already, we're doing what we call participatory mapping activity. So this is where we've got a map showing the direction of different places where people are coming, and then on that map, people will have to pinpoint the areas where they find the challenges. So we've got stickers, which is red for danger, then orange for it's okay, then for the green that is fine. This is safe, the safest places. So what we have been doing so far, we have interviewed about 109 people, and then they have been sticking. Once we speak to them, then we ask them to stick the sticker from their route home and where they are going, and then they say, okay, this is safe place, this is a dangerous place, and this can be improved in terms of the yellow sticker. So we have done this to consider a number of people, and out of this, 60% of these people that we have interviewed are actually women, which is really, really important, and also important to be part of this project.
And then thinking about creative methods, you mentioned about participatory mapping and a 3D zebra crossing. How have people reacted to these? I know you've done some mapping already. How did people find it when you were on the street? In your opinion, do you think it was a good method?
From the reception of people, people are really, first of all, they were shocked that they can actually be involved into the planning of the town, and about the method itself, that they can actually share their voices and their voices can be heard. So this has been really welcomed. And people, when people are just passing, then they see us, with the big map, and then they actually bring themselves to the map and say, what is going on? Can I participate in this? So it has been welcomed. But besides that, we have also had the media attention. We've had some interviews from the media, the national public broadcaster coming to interview us. And so we have actually received very, very great feedback from these methods that we have been using.
That's really great to hear. So overall, what do you hope to achieve as a result of this case study, and also through the whole project?
Yeah, so overall, the aim is to ensure that we improve safety of the most advantaged groups in our society. So that's the ultimate goal for us. But the other immediate stuff is also to raise awareness that, people, normal people, vulnerable people can also participate in the conversation and improvement of their safety around the area that they're moving around. So we want to connect the voice of the disadvantaged to the planners, the city planners and the engineers to identify that connection.
Yeah.
And we believe that with having these two voices together, the planners and the disadvantaged groups will actually bring out the better outcomes for transport systems in the country.
And have you found that the various stakeholders that you've interacted with, are they receptive to this approach?
Exactly, yes. In fact, we had prior to the starting of this case study, we had a meeting with the town clerk, the TC of the Lusaka City Council, and we highlighted and shared about this project, and he was very, very excited and actually said that we really appreciate this contribution, especially that you actually start speaking to the most advantaged groups. As the city council, as an authority, we can't speak to every single individual, disadvantaged groups out there. But this connection is very, very important for us, that now there is this connection. So from the government point of view and authorities' point of view, this has been a welcome initiative.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Daniel. It's been really interesting to hear from you, and I look forward to hearing more about your project as we move forward through the other activities.
Thanks very much, Howard.